Good day, good day, good day. How is everybody today? I was just watching that video on possibly a 10th planet. Possibly we were created by alien beings. First of all, to let you know how I see this is A, we weren't here before. B, we are here. C, what is the in-between that brought us here? It's all inside an element that weighs less than an ounce. For every doctor and every scientist that I've ever set out there, we have an X that shows us our vision. Therefore, in between the X and on creation of the X, it takes minimum of 4 lines to create the X, plus the passage on the interior. Okay, that passage on the interior actually creates a V coming out of your eyes, back through your eyes, into the center of your head, where you're connected to a supercomputer in a faraway planet, but connected and information transfer by what they call the electric moon. Now, the electric moon is the moon we have, which is used for A, transformation of information on this planet, and B, to take the information and to send it away to recalibrate what's in the middle of our head. If you ever heard the saying, you shot me in the foot or you shot me in the head, have you ever seen the arrow that goes around the head? That all has to do with the element right here. It's an element I call copper nickel, because we're grounded to the copper ground, in which French they call cuivre. And in French, and transformation to languages according to the way I envelop it inside, it means Israel. Okay? It means it is all real. Everything is real and everything is truth. And these pyramids, okay, are standing formations to send the electrons up into the sky and back down through the pyramids in the 4 corners or 3 corners on the ground, penetrating back into the earth. Okay, we were created for the mind. We were used with the earth in the mind, our bodies, how we learn to adapt to an environment that is very, how can I say, it's very wild. It's like the wild, wild west, and inside is the Middle East. West, east, he left, he came back. But if he right, then it's all good. So there's a lot more to understand. Right, left, east, west. If it's not to the right, then it's not actually wrong. Does it mean that it's to the left, that it left and you don't have the information? We are created by superior beings. Russia, the Mayan, the Chinese. Underneath the oceans, or underneath the seas in China, is a whole electronical system underneath the ground. That's one of the reasons Buddha is around, because it's the Buddha system, okay, that controls life on our earth. This system regenerates the information and sends it out to the moon, and on every 28 days, and 28 stands for Ein. Einstein means the moon is first and the moon is last. Transfer of the information. Ein, ST, Stein. ST first, ST last, ST best, ST stop, last to best, last to first. It's all with the ST. It all begins saying the beginning. We are not alone. We were created. Secondly, Lenin didn't just go on by. Lenin left trails of dust all over the place that we do not see. I call this dust part of the transference of the spermatozoid, in which the humidity in our air brings it down to us and we breathe it inside of us. The sperm never dies. It's continuously going inside you. I call it the teardrop or the raindrop. Okay, we are not alone. This February, we hit the tail of a Lenin that once was past. And I don't think she's going to be nice, because she's going to be very nice. She's going to give us back all our thinking we ever had in the last 6,000 years, all in that tail. And as she comes and she whips the USA and parts of the other world, okay, according to my calculations in the past year and a half, working them together with my dreams, we're going to be splitting apart. Islands will be splitting apart. Countries will be splitting apart for the new world coming on the other side. This new world is just a revision of this world to continue on to the last part of all life of creation, to finalize what the mind is actually here for. When you say the Mayan count 25, 6, 25, Well, if you look at your telephone or the roulette wheel, what that actually explains to you, okay, is the left side of the wheel, 1, 4, and 7 on your phone, 2, 5, and 8 on your phone, 0 on the bottom, I call it Urantia, because the 0 represents Saturn. It opens up, and outside of what comes Saturn are little like pods, and they open. And they take these pods and they put them into Jupiter. Okay? And then they spread these pods out, they tie them down, they add the glaciers from the universe, they create the oceans, they create the mountains like little ants coming out of the ground, and voila, you have life. Now we live in this and we're not. Okay, Christopher Columbus says we're flat. We are flat. We're flat here and we're flat at the bottom, but we're round all around. More or less, if anybody doesn't know what an Orion that comes out of my mind is actually like an onion. It grows on the outside big as it grows through, just like an orange. The word orange in French means or. It means about or to. Or also means gold. Ange means angel. The golden angel, the people we are, okay, this is our oil. Okay? This is the Holy Ghost. When we write on there, okay, it's the gold of our mind. It's the gold of our silver mind that comes out onto the paper. And we become who it is, whatever comes out of our hands. Our eyes are split. Our ears are split. And when we die, okay, the last thing that gets unhooked from you when you die is your ass. The spirit connects ear to ass. It pulls everything in between, every vibration, every thought, you have it there. So if you get a bellyache and it's because you're thinking, it's because you're connected down there. When you die, just like in the Da Vinci Code, when Jesus put his head to the side, okay, it's because the spirit comes out. It stretches all the way out into the network, into the skies. And the minute it catches a wire in the sky, it releases from your ass, okay, and you jet right through the sky back to the world you're supposed to be for recalibration and regrowth in the next world. Now, if you carry any elements of disease, it doesn't matter. The only elements that matter is the virus in your mind. It cannot take any of that virus with you. It must separate it from your mind and then bring you. So if your whole mind is screwed up because of the way you think, well, when you get into the next part of the next world, you're going to have a little bit of a trouble reuniting yourself with yourself. Why do I tell you all this? These are in my dreams. This is one of the ways the world's setup is. 88, 88, 88, 88. We do not go down to the bottom or the top 88, but we go east and west, okay? The telephone, the Mayan count, 25, 625. Well, the 6 means, okay, of the 3 elements of beta, 2, 2, and 2. The last 2 means the heaven or Urantia, and we don't live in that 2, so it's only 6, okay? Now, the part of who we heart to the left, okay, is 0.25 of a human being. The part to the right is the other half of the human being, meaning the earth. 0.25, 1/4, 1/4 of the suits. You're connected with another spirit, which in fact 2 other spirits. One is the club and one is the spade. One means your body and one means your mind. That's how we're connected. Now, am I sure of this? You know what? I averaged about 35 in school. And the reason I averaged 35 in school is for exactly what's going on today. For 100% of the story, which I believe, for 100% of what's going on in this world. Why the governments are out here? Because the governments know. Most of the governments know that what's going on. Now, not all of them. And the reason they know is because when the angels came in here, okay, they left back to go where the Mayans and the Russian. And they call Russia, part of Russia, the Wild Wild West, WWW, because they already know the whole system and how it works. We hide this from the people because we have to learn. We must learn. We're not here for no reason. We must learn, and whatever it takes to make us learn, God will do it. If it means war, he'll put war, because he doesn't want empty minds coming home to his kingdom. He wants minds that understand what it means to have a life, what it means to be alive. Not just any old thing. Well, what about the kids? Well, don't worry. God sets it up different for every element. There's a different spirit. that goes in it. The minute you reach the age of 41, you have Area 51 spirit, which means you have the core of your thinking inside. You've lived so much of your life. You should be able to see certain things a certain way. Now God's going to make it different on you. If you want to know what the fox and Wolfberg and all that, well, Wolfberg and the fox, okay, stand for 10101001, because that's what the letter count is. The fox is a cunning fox. He's a rain. They call a rain, which is a queen. And the wolf, well, he hangs around on a wolf pack. Why? Because of the three parts of his mind. The same reason, okay, they have the wolf howling at the moon. Listen to all the songs. He's talking to the moon. He's sending up all his information to the moon. The moon is like that because it's a mist. It's not that it's a moon that's bright, it's the mist of the moon. It's the light coming out of the moon. It's not really a reflection from anywhere else. But if it was a reflection from anywhere else, it would be the second sun. We are not running on one sun. There's a minimum of 3 suns. One red sun that transports the energy, and one yellow sun that transports the energy, and a black box. It goes through this black box into our moon. It lights up and it brightens up our earth. Like Dawn on Facebook saw that there's a black moon and a dark side of the moon. Yes, the birth of the moon turns itself violent red or a dark purple, which shows us what our sky, our night sky, is all about. Watch the moon on any time a bright moon comes out. Watch the clouds that happen. A lot of times if there is clouds, it'll all pull towards the moon because the electric, okay, that passes through the sky pulls the clouds with it over towards the moon. And then the information going in is going to always design some sort of animal for the reason that the movement is like the movement of the animal. God made everything to work in a certain fashion, and we are the cats and the dogs of this world. Cat and dog stand for 50. Queen stands for 62. Dog counts for 26. Dog and queen stand for 6, 22, 6. It's the way it is. 22 is life. 6 and 6 together is 12, which means man and man, or queen and queen. L and L all together is the 12th letter. 1 and 2 is 3. Of 6 man, of L, 1 and 2 is 3, 6. So you have 3, 6, 3. Or you have 1, 3, 1. Which would mean, excuse me, you'd have 1, 2, 1. 25, 6, 26 actually equals 3, or L, 6, 3, which means 3, 6, 3, which means 1, 2, 1. And now we have 1, 2, 1. 121 is a multiple of 11 by 11 equals 121. 1 plus 2 plus 1 equals 4. It means the delta corner, the 4th corner that creates who we are. All the numbers mean, and they come into, and if you don't understand, you say, well, I'm wrong. I know I'm not wrong. In fact, I'm so right, I'm not right at all, because I'm not writing anything down. It's just what the motion is. That's what the numbers do. They're always changing. The numbers come, the numbers go. It depends what we're looking for. Anyways, we'll leave it at this. I really appreciate it, and thank you. If you want to know anything about numbers, anything to do with numbers, and I'll explain to you why they're right, because what happens with numbers is you have to learn them, learn things that go with them, categorize them, and come back and say, hey, this was 121, that was 121. Doesn't say the same thing. It does say the same thing. But in your dictionary, you have a definition. And the definition always explains 6 different things. But in all, down to the back, down to the core, it's all the same thing. Is there another planet? For sure. There's lots of stuff we don't know. In fact, what's going to happen right now is California is being marked off as the Mediterranean. Why? Because of the color. That's right, just the color. The Baltic and the Mediterranean. The Baltic has elements inside, and so does the Mediterranean. Now, if they go ahead and reconnect this Mediterranean, it's not good. This is for a power. This is for a power in one of the nations that can recreate what God did, but you can't recreate what God did. You cannot connect up the Dead Sea or the sea by Turkey. You can't go down to the Mediterranean. What are the Americans trying to do? Well, it's pretty simple. They're trying to get over as close as they can to, where is it? What's above Turkey? The water where Turkey is, there's something in that water underneath the ground. And I think the Americans are trying to get over there, along with maybe possibly England, because England actually, in my face, owns the U.S. somehow. and they own Canada, and they're just that's a part that I'm mixed up about. There's a lot of stuff going on, and the Queen's 60th year, 100 years of Titanic. 60 means 10-6. It means I controlled the sixth world, because the open world of the West was actually the Americans. So whatever's going on, and whatever indecisive things, because the Americans are teaching the soldiers to do things that are not true. How can the science and the soldiers, why would somebody tell somebody to take somebody else out if it was true? Then everybody would know. So however the Americans are thinking, I'm sorry, Obama, I'm embarrassed. I'm really embarrassed. You know what, Obama, you're embarrassing all of us, because you're both black and white. Okay? Just because God said you should do it, it doesn't mean it's right. You know what I'm saying? Just because you want to put the soldiers there because somebody's coming to attack you, let them come to attack you. God said no fighting. God said no killing. And what are you doing? Everything he said not to do because of an idea of growing. The only thing in this world that's worth anything is copper and nickel. Everything else is worth nothing. Okay, whatever else there is in the world, the silver and the gold, well, that's part of your mind and your thinking. Forget about anything else. There is no existence. We don't exist. We're here for the mind. And if you're going to go ahead and start causing war and disrupt other places, that's not what it's all about. If you're going to do something, tell the whole world what you want to do and why. Let us vote online. Let us decide. 6 billion voters versus 100 people in Parliament. Does it make any sense? You guys make me sick. I feel like throwing up. You know that? I'd like to just throw up and just put it online and say, hey, government, I see what's going on. You make me sick. Okay? Rubik's Cube is all about putting things and colors together, and man is trying to tear them apart. Look how white Rubik's Cube became. He used to be pink. Now he's white. He shows the number 72 because he's telling you about the 72 principal parts about the world. 72 times 5 degrees equals to a total of 360 degrees. Do you want to know how the Mayans count 360 days in a year? Isn't it simple? 360 degrees, 360 days. That means in the 4-year span with the leap year, we lose 21. Okay, without the leap year, we lose 20 days. The Mayans said there's 20 days missing. Well, guess what? We finally caught up to it, and it's now. Lenin's tail is not dead. Lenin is very much alive. Nibiru is very much alive. And a good old Christ and God very much alive, more than you would ever think. If you would come inside my head, you will see the truth of this entire world and universe. The platforms we sit on inside of Jew, the pair, Jew, Father, Earth. If you read it at Jupiter in French, it says the Jew, the Father of Earth. They go underneath the island pods that are in Jupiter, and we live above them. They live underneath as the underground, controlling the turn, the Earth's spin, and everything else that's going on. This is a made-up world, my friends, for people that are made up like we are and that put makeup on to cover everything else up. So if you think you're going anywhere in the next world, you're high government, and you got a lot of money, you ain't worth 2 cents. You're worth 2 cents in the next world. It's whatever your mind is. So if you have no mind, it has nothing to do with how much money. If Beta system promised you anything, forget it. The Chinese and Asian who pray to Beta, well, they don't know the actual truth, but they do know that it's running the system, and they're going to follow Beta. But you got to really understand the Dalai Lama, because he really tells it the way it is. There's a difference between what the Dalai Lama says and what's actually happening in the Buddhist area. Meditation, my friends, very huge. I can close my eyes and put my hands in a certain way that it'll be dark, and all of a sudden my whole head will light up just like I'm in a crystal ball room. Yeah, it's all elements, it's all knowledge, it's all what you know you can do, it's all what you believe, and it's all what you do. And let me tell you one thing, boy oh boy, I am so happy. I hope a Lenin comes in and the tail swings us around in the month of February, something we've never seen before, or will I have to wait for February 2013? That's the fourth corner. It's got to start in 12 and end by 14, because the cycle re-begins in 2016 and it closes in 2023. And I think in 2027 it restructures government on this planet. Now, what do all these numbers mean? Regardless, leave them out for now. I just figure I'd bring them up.